Hey guys, welcome to Cheap Sheep TV. Today we're going to put on that thing, that little tube, and talk about what that's doing on there. The time has come for us to start putting some body mounts on this bad boy. See, we've got a wall up here. I haven't cleaned it yet, but another day. What we've got down here, so we can see is this brace or whatever, and it's really rotted out. It's bad here and it's bad here. And we come in real close. These used to connect, and this used to be a body mount, and this used to be something, and it's all just bad. So we're kind of doing away with this design where you've got this channel and a nice spot for rust to kind of congregate. We're doing away with all of that, and we're just going to go straight through here. I'll show you in a second what I mean. We're going to cover up this seat mount in the process, but I'm not worried about it because what we're using in place of all this is some of this here steel tube with a relatively thick wall. So it's going to be pretty great. And when this steel tube is sitting up here, we can just drill and tap right into this, and we'll be able to get a couple threads on the screw for the seat. And if it's not enough threads, then we can do like a riv nut or weld nut in place. But I'm not too worried about it because this can handle it, and the seat's not going to have a whole bunch of force on it, so we might be able to get away with drilling and tapping into this. And like I said, if not, there is a plan B. So yeah, this will make for a pretty nice location for us to mount a seat. I did some preliminary measurements. This is body mount. I'm going to call it 2. If that were 1, this would be 2. And then body mount 3 is right here. I went in and I ground a little bit of a doohickey so that way I can place these on, locate them. And then I need to grind this down nice and flat so I can do that. Let's see here. I have also taken a piece of paper and I cut it so that it fits nice in there. And I use that to mark my tube. So hopefully we can cut this guy to fit in there real nice and it'll all work out. But we'll see. So I think my disc is getting a little worn down. Probably time to change to a different one, huh? Okay, so cut it. It's got a little bit of a radius to it. Could be better, but could be worse. This end, it's about as square as I've ever cut one of these with the tools I've got, so I feel pretty good about that. But what we need to know is, how does it look where it goes? So we stick it on here. Just a moment. Okay. Looks like it goes in that corner pretty well. Got a nice area for me to weld right here. There'll be a lot of weld in there. And then I've got a line to help me keep it somewhat straight looking. Looks okay. A little different than that. But I don't see any reason to wait, so let's tack it in place. So there's a lot of space between the sheet metal and the steel beam. And you can see that it does this. So I'm going to actually take a self-tapping screw. I'm going to take a self-tapping screw, put it in this hole I just made, and pop that in, and then weld everybody in place from there. All right, should have known. I'm drilling through sheet metal, but I'm drilling into something a lot more solid than that, so the sheet metal screw got all messed up and broken. So I tapped the hole with a 10/32. That's not 10 millimeters, that's number 10 from standard. And I've got this little machine screw, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten him down, and then we should be able to keep on going. Look at that, that's a lot better. It's a little gappy over here still, but you know, you can't win them all. Look at those welds. Ew. This one was the first one done with my left hand. Gross. These are a little bit better. At least they penetrate better. Yeah, I'm gonna fill this whole gap with weld. It's gonna be fun. And then both edges. I might do the other edge when it's flipped over to the other side, because it'd be a lot easier. I'll do this side too. Lots of weld. I don't want any seams in here, nowhere for water to come in, so it's going to be a lot of welding. Wonder why I'm wearing a mask? Look at all that. Ew. That's from the weldable primer on here. It's just, it goes up, but it's like kind of still a solid. And so it's just kind of wispy and gross. Anyway, that's why I'm wearing a mask, because this stuff is not fun. Oh boy. Look at these welds. I've got it turned up pretty freaking hot, and it's just penetrating right in there. I got one little bubble, but otherwise it's just raw. That's what I like to see. Cool. All right, and then I did this one over here, which I did in a couple different steps so you can see that, but yeah, it's penetrating pretty well now, which is very nice. Ha! Look at that. You take a step away and it's not straight at all. Oh well, who cares? Because what this thing's doing is it's coming up this way, and then it's got to go here. So regardless, it's going to kind of go at an angle and then come over here. So if it's not straight, it's not the end of the world. None of this here has any attachments to it, just the body mount, which is located here. This is all just structure. So essentially what I'm planning on doing is I'm building a mini frame on the body, so that way the body is going to be really, really rigid, especially where it connects to the frame. Because you got to remember that your roll cage is connected to your body. And so your body is just as important for safety as your frame is, unless you decide to move that roll cage mount to your frame, which is not a bad plan, but it does complicate body off restorations and stuff like that, I guess. Anyway, the plan here is super thick tube, not gonna rust, not gonna fall apart. Angle iron up there, also really nice and strong. This whole thing is gonna be just really, really strong, so I can beat the living tar out of the Jeep and feel okay. Doing so, my luck is I'll probably get in some like crazy accident once I do this. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. Anyway, so yeah, I got to stop doing this now because I realized I have to finish this area here because the next tube is going to connect to it. What you going to do? So we're going to finish this area here. This is where your roll cage mounts, by the way, here, and here. And I'm actually just going to not do anything with that until I put the roll cage in, and then we'll mark the holes and get it all lined up. Because trying to figure out where those are, measuring off of stuff that's rusted or bent, not great. But this is all coming out because someone used angle iron here. And although I like the use of angle iron, they did so in a way that leaves this big rust loving gap. So I gotta somehow cut all this out. And then once I do, I'm gonna fill it in with my own sheet metal, have a nice clean edge like I did down here instead of weld seam, like you would see down here, little weld seam, that's inviting rust as well. So we're going through and just filling this whole edge with weld and making it real strong. It's gonna probably weld from the inside and like really fillet it out. Yeah. Also, teaser, I'm thinking about doing a box here, a little toolbox. So there's your teaser for that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Anyway. Okay, you guys, thank you for watching another episode of the $100 Jeep Tub. This one, of course, is a short episode, but, you know, binge them. I don't care. Anyway, like I said, we put on that body mount, and now I'm realizing I need to do some more work before I can put on the rest of it. So we're going to do that. Anyway, tune in next time for more welding and such.